I'm going to explain you React using a Create React App project in CodeSandBox. In the left hand side you see the folder structure produced by Create React App. In the middle section you see the actual file contents, and in the right hand side you see the output in the browser. So let's look at the file structure or the folder structure first. There is a src folder which contains all our JavaScript files and also the styles. So you have a JavaScript file called index.js, and there is a style file called styles.css, and there's also a public folder. Public folder contains index.html, and there is a package.json which has the dependencies for the project, and the main dependencies are React and React DOM. So let's go over the files one by one. Index.js. Index.js is the main source file for the React app. It first imports two packages, React and React DOM. Then it imports the styles from another file named styles.css. Then there is a function called app, and this is our component for now. This is a React component. We'll come back to this later. Then there is something which is called what we do here, the last two lines of the code, is we find a element by id root and we insert the contents of our component within that element. To explain a little bit more, let me open the dev tools. If you look at the dev tools, and if I right click on hello world and say inspect, you can see that our React component is rendered into an element with id root. So this is what happens where in the index.js file. What we do is we take the React component. In this case, this is just a single component, but this could be a tree of multiple components. All the HTML which is outputted by these components is rendered within this root element. So let's examine our component a little bit more in detail. Our component just seems to output a HTML tag, and the HTML tag contains the text hello world. So this text actually is displayed in the browser here. And if you look at it, we specify a class named app which is used to style this component. So where is this defined? It's defined in styles.css. If you open styles.css, you can see the app class, and I can change the color to something like red, and it instantaneously changes the color on the browser. So going back to index.js, if you look at it, we are not giving the attribute class to div tag, but we give a prop. We give a prop name app. We will give a prop name class name to this div tag. So we give the class name app to the div tag. So why do we use the word class name and not just class? Let me write it as class. If I write it as class, you can see that there is an error. There is an error in the console. The console error clearly says, did you mean class name? So there's something going on. This is not HTML. This is JSX. JSX is actually HTML which gets converted into JavaScript. The same line of code can be rewritten as plain JavaScript. For example, I can use react.createElement and have a div tag and make within the div tag I can give hello world. To make it a little bit better, I will just bring it down to the next line. So you can see that you have a div tag, and within the div tag I'm displaying a content hello world, and that gets displayed into the screen on the browser. Now if you want to have additional props, I can just say class name and give a class name named app here, and this like a prop on this div tag, and it's not to be confused with an attribute. Props are something more related to React, and when you send a prop named class name with a value app, it actually gets converted into this gets converted into div class equal to app hello world in the browser. So this code gets converted to this code in the browser. In the React world, attributes are called props, and because class is a special keyword in JavaScript, we use the word class name, which gets converted into class. So this React in a nutshell, this just gives you how a simple React app works. More to follow in the subsequent video series. Bye for now.